Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. So I titled this video, How to Primitive Camp State and National Parks, Ideas and Supplies You Might Need. And so we've been primitive camping for quite a while. We used to live on the road in an RV, then we moved into the pop-up, then into a tent, and this is what we love doing a lot more lately, especially with our boys, and especially we have 3 boys and a girl. There's actually 6 of us who stay in this tent. Now, I just want to say first off, when I say primitive camping, I mean there's no running water at these state parks and there is no electricity. I will say that there are a few handicap sites that have a very low voltage where you could plug in some sort of medical device that you might need. And I also want to say that you don't need all of these things at all. You can get away with a tent, with just this little stove down here, and you can get away with the bare minimum. So these guys over here, they're not using any sort of electricity. They're using all propane. But I want to show you guys my style of doing it, and I have a wife of 10 years. She's awesome. She's a trooper. But I really like to make myself comfortable and my family comfortable. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of our campsite, and we have pretty much done it to the max. I can't really think of anything else that you could possibly need, unless you let me know in the comments, to make this campsite really any more like luxurious or anything like that. And just to give you a preview of what I'm talking about, I have a 4-burner 36-inch propane Blackstone. So what I ended up doing with my campsite, we used to pack everything in our van, but like I said, we've got 4 kids now, and so the truck is pretty much packed. I mean, we even have a kid sitting in the front middle seat with us. So I traded my pop-up for this trailer right here. This is about a 10-foot trailer, and I think it's like 5 feet wide or something like that, but I keep it stocked with camping supplies all the time. So basically, most of this stuff, minus my big grill, stays in this at all times, and then when we're ready to camp, we just hook it up to the truck and pull it. So let me flip this camera around and show you all of my supplies. Walking into the pop-up, let me start at the very back. So of course, we're gonna have the spare tire over here, a fire extinguisher for camp. Here is one cooler where we keep the baby's milk and things like that. We have our hiking backpacks. And this right here is actually made for like a horse, camper that would pull horses. So you put like their grooming supplies in here. But I've used it to put things like, paracord and clothespins and zip ties, lighters, things like that. All right. Moving on this wall, we've got like our camping shovel, fly fishing stuff. This is important. Having a broom on a primitive campsite is super important to be able to sweep out your tent. Of course, you need your mallet, hit things in the ground. We also keep a table here where we keep all of our fresh vegetables for cooking. We keep just some basic tools on hand for any repairs, self-tapping screws and things like that. We have like a few of these power boxes. These are Dakota lithium power boxes, and this is what keeps our flashlights charged, our phones charged, and things like that. Moving over to the left side of the trailer, we just have things like, well, we'll get into this later, this propane heater. We've got like Coleman that runs on, this is a lantern that runs on fuel. We have all of our utensils and things like that over here. We have all of our spices for cooking. We bring enough food to be able to cook for 5-6 days at a time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we really don't eat out while we're here, unless we go into town once for just like a nice breakfast. We keep all of our paper towels strung up here. At the top of the trailer, of course, we keep the camping axe, and then we keep a bin full of kitchen supplies. You never know what you're going to need. So we have all things like cast irons, utensils, scrubbies. Heavy duty foil wrap is something you always need because you're going to want to potentially cook on your fire out there, like over the fire pit. So we have all types of cast iron and things to cook on a fire pit. We've got waters, we have another battery bank, another cooler, a whole bunch of boots for the kids, more chairs, and of course your first aid kit. Now we're gonna actually show you our camp setup, this is like the most important part. So we have 2 canopies that we keep at our site. This is a 12x12, and the one over there is a 10x10. Now, ideally, what we want is we want the 12x12 over the tent, and we want the 10x10 over the kitchen. There's a reason why we don't have it like that this trip, and I don't have time to get into it, but we had to make an emergency fixed in the middle of the night when it started raining, and we just moved the tent over and yada, yada, yada. So that's that. You don't have to have these canopies, okay? But if it is gonna rain, it's really nice to do that instead of setting up a tarp, which you will see in my other camping videos. We run a line from this tree all the way over, and we set up a tarp just to keep something over our rain fly, because if you ever tent camp, you know that once that rain fly gets too wet, no matter how waterproof it is, once it starts touching the other parts of your tent, it's over. It just starts, it just happens, unless you get like $1 million tent. So having some sort of canopy or tarp over your rain fly, not touching the rain fly, strung above it, is gonna be ideal if it's gonna rain. So we keep a 12 by 12 over our kitchen area right here. And let's go ahead and get into that. Here's our kitchen setup right now. So I brought this from my house, obviously. We had so much room in the trailer that I was like, you know what? Let's just bring it. We're gonna be cooking for 5-6 days. I wanna cook in style this time, and cooking on a flat top is awesome because it's super easy to clean and it's just fun. So I've got the flat top, and I also have the Coleman propane 2 stove over here. This is where I do things like heat my water for my shower, make my coffee, you know, heat up the beans or the corn or whatever it is we're doing. And I go ahead and I get a 20-pound propane tank that runs the Blackstone while we're here. And you'll see right over there, I have another 20-pound propane tank, and that runs our heater, which I will show you in just a few moments. So over here at the kitchen side, you know, you're gonna want your percolator if you like coffee. My wife loves coffee. Of course, fire. I've got a jet boil for tea. These are things I've collected. I'm not a rich man, okay? I've been camping for all my life, so I collect these things little by little over the years, and most of this stuff is garage sale. So, you know, $10 for this and, you know, things like that. So all garage sale, a lot of it at least. Moving over to our dishwashing station. You can find these on Amazon for like 30 bucks. And this is what we use to wash all of our dishes and our hands. We fill these up over at the fill up station, and we just wash our dishes there. Got one of those scrub daddies on deck, and my wife likes to use the Dawn Power Wash because I guess it's easier and works really well. Then we just have a collapsible for our dishes. Of course, we have all the camping chairs. What else? We got all of our firewood. We have, that's a little fort my son built. Always want a dry line at camp if you can. So let me give you a better idea of the tent here. So my wife and I, we sleep in there, and our 4 kids. Right now our 1-year-old sleeps with us. Judge me if you want, but that's she does. She's like a little bit over 1 right now. And then the 3 boys sleep on another queen mattress. And as the years go by, it's gonna look like we're gonna need to rent 2 campsites at one time, and we'll see, just put 2 tents or something like that. But we put this canopy over here in the middle of the night at 11 o'clock at night. It just started raining and we had to move it. We only had 1 canopy set up, so we moved it from here and hurried up and put it over this tent, and then later set up the 12 by 12. So that's why it's like that. If you're primitive camping and it's cold, okay? And also let me say, make sure you stake down everything. We were here a few days ago, and it was 25 mile per hour winds and 40 mile per hour gusts. It was awesome in the tent. So my tent has a little hole like this where you can funnel in electricity. In this case, since we're primitive camping, we have funneled in a 20-pound propane tank hose, and we're gonna go ahead and make our way into the tent. Actually, before we get there, let me show you pretty much this other half of the site. We've got our bikes. These bikes, they hook up into these hooks. My wife and I, our bikes hook up into the hooks, and then we throw the kids' bikes in there and then wheel the stove in there. I have a DIY shower right here, which I will put links to my DIY shower if you guys are interested. This right here is an awesome shower right there. So this shower was built with 1/2-inch PVC and just connectors that you can find from Home Depot or Lowe's, pretty much wherever you're at. And oh, it's tied up right now. Let me open it. Hold on. It's stuck. There we go. Okay. So you can see we got a shower head in here, right there. And this is a pretty pretty big shower. So again, I love this thing, my wife loves this thing, and it's a hot shower. So I take the stove over there and I heat up water, and then I use that to make our shower. So just an idea, just know if you're primitive camping, you can get something like this, and I'll put a link below. That right there will run you like $100 or something like that. And this cost me about like $80 to make maybe, and it's double the size of these other cheap pop-up showers that you can get on Amazon. And this is gonna last way longer, trust me, than any of the ones on Amazon will ever last. Those things break so fast and so easy, get destroyed in one little windstorm. So if you're primitive camping, there is a hot water option for under $200. Trust me, you don't have to buy the most expensive stuff. Build yourself a DIY shower, throw a tarp around it, zip ties, get yourself something like this, which I'll put a link down below. And yeah, there's a suction that goes into a bucket of hot water that you make yourself, whether you heat it up on cast iron over the fire or you use, propane to heat it up. But that is definitely an option. And that shower has last all 6 of us showers for the last 5 days, and it's only been charged 1 time. So there's no cords, it's fully rechargeable. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into the tent. Nice. My wife did the beds. It all looks awesome. So that is my wife and I's bed right there, and our baby girl sleeps with us, between us. And then here's the boys. You can see that they kind of got 1, 2, and 3. They got their beds lined up right there. And then we have some of their clothes over there. Let me take off my shoes and hop in the tent. We got some of their clothes in the closet. Now on this side of the tent, that's where we keep our clothes. These are old military bags from my sister. Holds a lot of clothes, which is nice. This is one of those collapsible camping, what do you call this, tables. It collapses all the way down and folds up to a nice little bag. We have more charging stations right here, and we have our lanterns. Shoes stay under the table. We have a few more lanterns. One ends up in the shower at night. One is for while mom's cooking dinner, doing dishes after I cook dinner. So kids are taking a shower with this one while we're cleaning up. So we have 2 lanterns. Of course, we have our flashlight, which you always need. I had to check for bears the other night. Ended up being like a fox or a coyote or something. And then something like this again, you definitely need a headlamp because you need 2 hands if it starts raining and you have to do emergency fixes, or you just need 2 hands. Now, this, I'm doing a whole nother video on that, which you can find in the comments below as well. This is our heater, which has saved the camping trip. This is awesome. So this is the Mr. Heater Portable Buddy right here. Now, depending on when you buy this on Amazon or where you buy it, you can get it from anywhere for, I'm gonna say 60, 70 bucks if it's on sale, and on off seasons or whatever, or you can get it for like $100. So this is so worth it. You can put these 1-pound propane tanks in them right here, which is, I'm telling you guys, this is a lifesaver. If you're primitive camping with no electricity, it has been not so cold, but it has gotten down to the high 40s, low 50s at night. And then of course during the days, it's like high 60s, 70, which is no problem. But at night, with 4 kids, trust me, you are gonna want something like this. And the small version heats up this tent, but it only heats up this tent because of this attachment at the top. But I'll go into that in just a minute. It will take these, you'll probably need 1.5 of these if you're gonna go through the whole night. I'm talking about 8-9 hours. On low, you're gonna need this. On high, this is gonna last you like 2.5 hours, okay? So on low, it will last you a while, or just hook up to a 20-pound propane. This is safe to use indoors. Go watch YouTube videos. I mean, we lived in an RV, and this is basically what happens in an RV. A propane line runs to a heater, and then boom. So it's safe to use. You can get yourself a little reader if you need to. Enough of that. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll do my best to answer it. When you are camping at a state park, they have all these rules about bears and animals and things like that. So you want to be careful and cautious and read the rules. But they want you to put all your coolers, all your water, all your drinks away and things like that, which you should do. What we do is we keep the coolers in the back of our truck. We've got a few different brands of coolers. Honestly, it doesn't matter what brand cooler you have, as long as you pre-chill the coolers before you go camping. If you can pre-chill your coolers, they will stay cold for pretty much the entire camping trip. A lot of people make the mistake of, you know, just throwing all their food and ice in a cooler, and then all their ice is gone in like a day or two, and they don't know why, even though on the box it says it'll keep ice for 6 days, 5 days, or something like that. Pre-chill your coolers. Other than that, guys, we have a bunch of little supplies just thrown in that camper for, you know, paracord and, you know, inflators and this and that and repair kits. But I wanted to show you a basic idea, and this is actually not so basic, but we have made it all the luxuries of home without being at home. Now, with that being said, I just said we have made all the luxuries of home without being at home. It's like not the point of camping if you really think about it sometimes, but you have to do what is best for you and your family. And it's like this: when I go fishing, I try and catch fish. When I take my kids out fishing, I target fish that I know they can catch right now because they're young, and I want to make fishing fun for them. I don't want to go out and just say, oh, we didn't catch fish, and they think fishing sucked, but that's because I was trying to target fish that were really hard to catch. No, I want to throw some bait on a line and catch sheep's head, and it's fun. But when I go out fishing, I use top waters, and as they get older, I'll introduce them into targeting snook and redfish and things that take a little bit more skill. I have the same philosophy when it comes to camping. I go camping, and I've been camping with some of actually you guys who watch, with just a tent and some food, and we rough it. Or I've gone backpacking in the Philippines for 10 days with just a backpack and 2 or 3 changes of clothes. I'm not opposed to roughing it and just doing it. Okay, but I've got a wife and 4 kids, and I want to make it a relaxing, great experience. And I love cooking. Okay, I love cooking. I love making my family feel comfortable. And you might find yourself in the same situation. You as a man, if you're watching this video, you may be so down with roughing it. Just you, your backpack, a tent, a really good sleeping bag, and a jet boil and some Mountain House or O-Meals, and you're good to go. But the moment you step out there with your family, you're starting to think, how can I make this more comfortable for them? That is where I'm at. I want to make things comfortable. I want to be able to do dishes easily. I want to be able to cook for my friends and family who are out here at other loops and things like that. I want camping chairs. I want I want a heater when it's low 50s and I have a 1-year-old in my tent. I just want these amenities. So if that's something that you want, hey, look, man, we have done this exact setup almost in just a van, and we throw a topper on the van, and we take a little bit less, but we pretty much take this stuff, just like not doubles in excess, you know. But I got this trailer to pull behind my truck to keep as a camping trailer, and it's been working out for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little video on my setup for a family of 6. And like I said, as we grow, we are going to probably have to get 2 campsites, and the boys will stay on that one, and me and Shan and Aspen, our baby girl, will stay in the other one. I'm not really sure. We're just gonna do as life leads us to do. So if you have any questions about my setup or where I got any of these things, or you need links to anything, just shoot me a message or a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And that's pretty much it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.